Hey everybody, took a little break. We're back out with to Mexico. That's what looks so nice and tanned. This video, we're going to be doing an oil change on this. I'm going to talk about the right oil to use. It's not going to be as boring as you think. I'm doing alignment on this. This is alignment you can do at home with just some very basic crap around your garage. And then on this guy right here, you see how all my Wilwood brake stuff is gone on my hubs. I end up having to send my stuff to my buddy's shop because he's got CNC. Here's a sneak peek at the end of this video of what he made. Alright guys, so this is what I use when I'm setting up the alignment on my bug. 2-bit clamp. Got a couple pieces of metal. One's for one side, one's for the other. What I do is I clamp this down here, this bar down low, and then I clamp one on the other side. I run a couple tape measures across, and I set it up. It's really easy to do. Let me go ahead and get this one on. Let me get this other side on. And I'm sure a lot of y'all are going to say, you know, that's not the perfect way to do it. But I don't care. It works for me. I got these. I do it to where the gap looks the same along the wheel, along the rim. Let me go put the one on the other side real quick. Then I'll show you how I do the tape measures. I know a lot of y'all are thinking, why don't I just take it somewhere and get it aligned? But you can see right there, I've got that one on. You can see right there, I've clamped that piece of metal on. I'll go ahead and open this up. Show you all my beautiful wiring, not really. Right here's the tie rod. To loosen that up, and I can turn that tie rod. And I may not even need to do anything. What I'm gonna do now is run the tape measures across, and then you'll kind of see what I'm doing and how I'm getting it kind of set. One of the things you got to make sure of is you use car alignment tape. Don't fall for the gimmicks. I got this on Amazon, but you can get it anywhere. So remember, car alignment tape's your friend. What I do is I get my tape measure and I run it all the way across, long enough to go across, lock it in place, do a little toss there, and then I tape it. I don't know if y'all can see this. Let me get down here. I tape it, just the only reason I'm taping it is so it won't pop loose. I'm taping it as close to the you know, about as close to the vise or the clamp as I can get it. So that one's on there. Y'all can see that beautiful job. I just taped it on. Now give me about an hour, so I'll look for my other tape measure. Well, first time since management recording history, I found my other tape measure like in 2 seconds. So I'm going to tape this one on. I'm going to tape this one on as well and give y'all a exciting view of what I'm doing. Now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to give it enough. I'm going to give it enough, you know, enough to go all the way across and then some. Then lock it down, slide it across, hit the tripod, and now I'm going to tape it right here onto this piece of metal. So now it's hanging at the exact same spot on front and back. So you got it right there. Don't worry about how that's bent. I'm going to straighten them out in a minute. And it's taped right there. So that's all straight now. And then we're going to go across over to here. And this part's really simple. I'm going to release the dealie. And look at that, I'm just going to hang the tape measure. I'm just going to hang it. See how I did that? I'm going to hang this other one too. And unlock it to get in all that extra tape measuring stuff, and I'm gonna leave it hanging. So what I've got right now, and let me get this camera down here to where I can show y'all if I can get it even closer down without getting y'all dizzy, is I've got 67, and right now I've got 67 and 7/16 on the front. I've got, oh shit, I've got 67 and a quarter on the back. So that means it's towed out. So I've got to do a little bit of adjusting. I'm going to go ahead and loosen up, if y'all can see it in there. Loosen up this bolt. Can y'all even see my hand? Yeah, this bolt, that's just the tie rod bolt. Let me show you from the other angle. I'm just gonna loosen it up. This one right here. I can loosen that up so I can turn the tie rod. And then when I turn the tie rod, you'll be able to see this one moving. And you'll be able to see that one moving at the same time. And you can actually turn the tie rod and kind of hang over here and look and watch them get into adjustment. So I'm gonna see if I can set it up before y'all can watch that happen. All right, guys, so I loosened up this tie rod bolt right here. And what I'm gonna do, when I turn it, you're gonna see this one move a little bit, and you can see that one move a little bit. I'm towed out a little bit, so it's about 67 and a half in front, and about 67 and a quarter in back. So I don't have to do much, but let me see if you can see. Okay, you see that? Watch this. See, I'm towing it in a little bit. See it moving? That's just by me barely twisting that tie rod. And you're thinking, you know, Nick, you gotta strap down that steering wheel. This is such a minor adjustment, it's not gonna need it. So I'm at 67 and 3/8 right here. Let's see where I'm at on this one. I'm at 67 and exactly, it's almost exactly perfect. I want to give it a hair of actually I kind of leave it kind of straight. It's got a hair of toe out, which I think is what you want, like a 1 degree of toe out. I don't know exactly, but right now I've got 67 and 3/8 here and 67 and 3/8 there. So it's kind of exactly in the middle. But y'all see what I did? When I turned this tie rod, you can actually watch this you know, as the tie rod moves, it turns the wheel, and you can actually watch the tape measure move in and out. And if you have them on front and back, you can sit there and hang up the car and turn it and watch your numbers get lined up to where they're perfectly straight. So I've got this set, and I'm gonna go ahead and bolt it, tighten up that tie rod, and we're good to go. Holy inflation, guys. This isn't a political statement, it's a reality statement. These plants here, I went to Home Depot and picked up some plants, and I had to go to Callaway's to pick up a couple more. This is like 160 bucks worth of just some plants and some dirt. I'm telling you, 2 years ago, I know the pricing because I buy a lot of plants. This would have been about 80, 90 bucks, 160 bucks for this stuff. Folks, that is 45 bucks worth of plants. 45 bucks. Think better call me handsome, give me some damn kisses when I leave. All right, so I'm working on installing I bought the Air-Cooled Works Wilwood brake kit for this car. I've got the IMOHR front and rear suspension. I was having an issue with the caliper fitting, or not the caliper, but the rotor onto the spindle that they provided. It wasn't their fault, that was mine. So let me set up to kind of show you what's been happening here. And again, this is my fault. So if you see right here, you see how the rotor is actually rubbing on the caliper bracket, and the spindle, or the hub, is all the way against the spindle. So I sent them a message, and I couldn't believe they actually responded on a Sunday. I wasn't expecting them to respond. I couldn't believe they responded on a Sunday. I wasn't expecting that. But anyway, so here's the part I forgot to do. You see this right here? This is a spacer that they provide that goes on right here, beveled side toward this, and now watch. Now I've got adequate room between the caliper and the caliper bracket and the rotor, and all I had to do is read the directions. I thought I read it pretty good, but apparently I didn't. So anyway, so I got that installed, and thanks again to Air Cooled Works for, I couldn't believe y'all answered the phone on a Sunday, or not answered the phone, but responded to Facebook, but thanks again. But something else I'm gonna have to do, and this is gonna be a big deal, is the Air Cooled Works rear Wilwood brake kit is made for a stock rear suspension, IRS, or swing axle. I've got IMOHR, and here's my issue. Look, here's my issue. I've got IMOHR. They built their kit for, you know, a stock, either IRS or swing axle. I've got all this stuff around it, right? So here's what happens. The bracket won't fit. It hits everything. It's supposed to go this way toward the diagonal arm and mount, but I'm hitting. So I don't know what the heck I'm gonna do. I think I can maybe mount it, get my buddy to fabricate a bracket and mount it kind of at an angle. So I'll let y'all know on that. I'm still gonna use this. I just gotta get a bracket fabricated. You know, I probably could maybe fabricate one, but the amount of time involved, and then, you know, my buddy builds like this stuff for a living, so I think I'm gonna take this hub, all my assembly, my rotor, take everything to him and let him, one of his fabricators, make me 2 brackets. It won't be cheap, but it'd be better than having brakes go out on the freeway and hurting myself or someone else. I hate changing oil. I just hate changing oil. I don't know why. It's just a pain in the butt. I hadn't told y'all much about this car. This is my 2003 Subaru WRX wagon. I've done, you know, I bought it saying I'm gonna leave it stock. About 7 seconds later, I'm ordering parts for it. There's a place in Dallas, anyway, so there's a place in Dallas called, or Fort Worth, called Kraken Motorsports. You know, I did the work myself. I put STI injectors. This is an EJ205 motor. I put STI injectors and intercooler, air oil separator, you know, electric boost controller. And then I took it out there and had dots and tune it. And it said about 300 to the wheels, torque and horsepower. So it's a fun little car, man. I put some really nice Wilwood brakes on it. And here's what happens to me too. These things never fit right. I just always get the one that's just a hair too small. I used to have a really nice set of oil filter wrenches that I got from Harbor Freight, and man, I don't know if I loaned them out or my dog sold them on eBay to make some money, to raise money for the cat's catnip addiction. Those of you that are new to doing cars, this is my filter. I use a small tube so I don't pour it in too quick so it'll overflow, but this is a little bit dirty. So let me show you the way you clean a funnel properly is you go to your swimming pool, you drop it in, and you shake it around. Look at that. Good as new. That's how you clean that sucker up. Then you come over here to your compressed air system. You get this on there and you blow the water out. Look at that, like I just picked it up from AutoZone. Now let's go make a mess and spill oil all over the car. This is the part I love hate. I always get myself set up. See, I use the smaller hole thing, and the reason I do it is on these cars, sometimes if you pour the oil in too fast, it just overflows everywhere and it kind of is a pain. So I'm going to use this. It makes me take my time. I still spill it, I just spill it slower. I bought some Valvoline 530. Hey, here's a way to start a great argument online. I love doing this on automotive Facebook groups, and it's the funnest thing. Hey guys, what oil do you recommend I use for my 2003 WRX wagon with an EJ205 motor with STI upgrades? Tell me in the comments below. Watch what happens. It's like saying, hey, do you know the name of a good tuner in my area? Holy shoot storm. Anyway, so now I'm adding, probably to a lot of y'all, that's the incorrect oil. If you put that oil in your car, your dishwasher is going to quit working. The equilibrium of your bearings related to the head spacing will cause a catastrophic failure, and then you'll have a flat tire. And you need to add this, and you need to blah, 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 blah. Anyway, so I always run whatever's on sale, and it never lets me down. I have been driving cars like an idiot for 40 years. I've only ever blown up one motor, and that's not because of the damn oil I was running, it's because it dropped a valve. Apparently a valve had a manufacturing defect in the stem and dropped a valve. And you talking about a noisy one, but I was kind of glad it dropped that valve, because that ended up making me put a Bridgeported rotary engine in my 1970 BMW, which y'all will see coming up soon, because I got to do some exhaust work on it, some cooling system work before I take a road trip. You'll also notice I didn't fill up my oil filter. Like you need to add oil to that first, or you're gonna cause an air cavitation and cause your bearings to spin. Guys, come on. This motor right here, I hope you see it. It's on top. It's on top. The new Subarus. It's on top. You say, oh, they blow motors. No, it's because the idiots drive them. That's why they blow motors, not because of oil where they put the filter. So no, you don't need to fill them up. If you want to do that, go for it. If that makes you sleep better at night. Let me get a rag. Anyway, if that makes you sleep better at night, man, you go right ahead. Don't forget to put that on. Now let's check the level. Folks, this is how you change your oil. I'm sure y'all know how to do this. There you go. I got plenty of oil. All right, man. I change my oil every. Well, I'm a Crosstrek. I changed it every 10,000. I had a nice Audi A3. Man, I put almost 200,000 miles on that. I changed it every 10,000 per the manufacturer recommendation. This one I go about every, I think 5,000 or 6,000 on this. I don't care. You need to change it every 3,000 miles. No, you don't. The only people that want to make you do that are the oil companies, because you buy more damn oil. You know, in the old days, the clearances weren't as good, the oil wasn't as good, and 3,000 to 4,000 was kind of what it's supposed to be. Things are a lot different now, and if you want to, man, if you want to change your oil every mile, you go right ahead. I go every 5 or 6 on all my cars. Never had a problem. And guess what? Oil companies hate me. All right, so I'm working on installing the I bought the Air-Cooled Works Wilwood brake kit for this car. I've got the IMOHR front and rear suspension. I was having an issue with the caliper fitting, or not the caliper, but the rotor onto the spindle that they provided. It wasn't their fault, that was mine. So let me set up to kind of show you what's been happening here. And again, this is my fault. So if you see right here, you see how the rotor is actually rubbing on the caliper bracket, and the spindle, or the hub, is all the way against the spindle. So I sent them a message. I couldn't believe they responded on a Sunday. I wasn't expecting that. But anyway, so here's the part I forgot to do. You see this right here? This is a spacer that they provide that goes on right here. Beveled side toward this. And now watch. Now I've got adequate room between the caliper and the caliper bracket and the rotor, and all I had to do is read the directions. I thought I read it pretty good, but apparently I didn't. So anyway, so I got that installed, and thanks again to Air Cooled Works for, I couldn't believe y'all answered the phone on a Sunday, or not answered the phone, but responded to Facebook, but thanks again. But something else I'm gonna have to do, and this is gonna be a big deal, is the Air Cooled Works rear Wilwood brake kit is made for a stock rear suspension, IRS, or swing axle. I've got IMOHR, and here's my issue. Look, they built their kit for, you know, a stock, either IRS or swing axle. I've got all this stuff around it, right? So here's what happens. The bracket won't fit. It hits everything. It's supposed to go this way toward the diagonal arm and mount, but I'm hitting. So I don't know what the heck I'm gonna do. I think I can maybe mount it, get my buddy to fabricate a bracket and mount it kind of at an angle. So I'll let y'all know on that. I'm still gonna use this. I just gotta get a bracket fabricated. You know, I probably could maybe fabricate one, but the amount of time involved, and then, you know, my buddy builds like this stuff for a living, so I think I'm gonna take this hub, all my assembly, my rotor, take everything to him and let him, one of his fabricators, make me 2 brackets. It won't be cheap, but it'd be better than having brakes go out on the freeway and hurting myself or someone else. Check this stuff out. Well guys, I'm leaving my buddy Tim's shop. Look back there at those goodies they machined for me.